first time maybe ever in the whole time that I've been in a position to talk about Jon Jones, we need to give him some credit. He could have held on to that title and held the division up, and there'd have been, while he's going through whatever negotiations he's going through, and then started talking about his heavyweight run and all that stuff, and made them, because it was pretty clear that Dana and the UFC were not going to strip him. So, you know, for him to just make a decision that he was going to go up and then not want to continue, because Jon is that kind of a guy. Like, he wants what he wants, and like, that title's his, and that's something that he holds very dear to his heart. Like, that is very much who Jon Jones is. He's a champion, and he needs that. So for him to vacate it and just kind of let the division move on, and then him do his thing, you know, like right now Jon Jones isn't a champion. Like, that's kind of crazy, right? Like, no one beat him, and he just gave it up, and that says a lot about where Jon is kind of personally. Like he's okay right now without being the champion of the world. And every time he's either, you know, he failed a drug test or got in some trouble and had to be stripped or whatever, you could tell, and even in the couple interviews you did with him, and you can tell that it just eats at him that he isn't the champion. And so maybe it's because it's on his terms and he vacated it, but either way, I think it's a fairly noble thing to just give it up and then go about your business and work on your heavyweight run and let everyone else kind of keep moving forward.
I feel pretty much the same as I did going down to 45. I got my weight down early enough where I'm not stressing, and I really don't think it's gonna be a struggle. Honestly, it's gonna be very comparable to when I went down to 45. And you know, I've been still getting 2 workouts a day, still, you know, doing my normal routine. Tonight I'm gonna go, you know, probably get a good 5 rounds of work with Coach Mark, and you know, just things is pretty much the same, honestly.
I think it's great for me because it's that the aesthetic of it. Like, I'm this skinny person, this little frail kid that everyone looks at, and then he looks like the perfect antagonist. He's big, bulky, juiced to the gills, and he's a marauder. He's a guy that beats everyone on the fence. So when I come in there with some Bruce Lee him up, it's like, oh my God, wow, he beat that big muscle boy. Oh, like the casuals are gonna feed off it, and that's just, I love that because it means more eyes, more attention. Like I said, you can watch my fights. You don't have to watch my fights, or you're gonna pay. I'm not talking money, you're gonna pay attention. Attention turns to, as always.
When I was telling people, I just think different. I do mean it. Like, I'm not chasing comments or what people say or think. This is my opinion about people's opinion. I don't give two like I own that. I mean it. Like, I'm not a guy that I'm like, this guy's saying that, oh, they think I'm gonna lose, oh, I'm underdog. I don't give two man. The only thing I'm worried about is waking up every morning and work harder than the day before and make sure I'm getting better. I'm getting the reps in. And then what people think, everybody have an opinion, man. At the end of the day, it only matters when you win. So it might as well try hard.
How do you think he's going to do at heavyweight?
I think he'll do well. He's moving to heavyweight because those guys are slow. You do realize that, right? He can't keep up with us anymore. After what me and Thiago did to him, he's like, man, I need to go up. These guys are getting too fast, they're getting too athletic, they're getting too good. The heavyweights are still slow, you know? I could do my thing. I could go back to doing my thing against them. So I think he sees there's better matchups for him at heavyweight than there are at light heavyweight. There are dangers. They're heavyweights. It's dangerous, but Jon's hard to hit, and he knows that. So he's like, these guys aren't going to be able to touch me.
Him versus Stipe, who wins in your opinion?
At this time?
Yeah.
Stipe.
Yes, it's definitely like one of the biggest fights of my career, you know, but I do believe also that every single fight, it's the biggest fight of my career, you know. For the fights that I have previous, that's the reason that I'll be able to do this fight, you know. I have just been fighting for the last 7 years over, you know, the UFC organization. I just fought the best fighters since my first fight. I got a 1 week notice against, you know, a guy number 3 back then, and Robbie Fawn, Brad Jones, Brian Caraway, like great guys and tough opponents, you know. It's just showed that, you know, I go there and I do my job and I leave everything in the octagon. No regrets.
He is again just a true martial artist, and you know, like just an obsessed kind of like athlete. Like everything he does is like methodical and like precise, and like that's why he's so good. And you're around him, and I'm sure you experienced that. Like he just wired differently from a standpoint of like, this is one of the greatest athletes ever, not because he was just overly gifted naturally, more so than anyone else, but because he worked and dedicated his life to his craft. So I'm confident, and I'm hoping as a fan, right? I have my fan hat on, is like, I'm hoping to see that fight with Khabib and George. I think that'll do crazy numbers.
Let me rephrase this question. If this fight happens, does it happen at 155?
Again, that's a UFC call. I think G, knowing the way he is, he can do that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's a function of, right? If you're asking me that question, I would say, gosh, 155. Like, yeah, catch weight sounds cool, but I know Dana's stance on the catch weight. 155. Can you do it? You know, G, for arguably the greatest fight ever in history, and G is that much of a gamer to be like, yep, I'll do it.
What a way! What a way to start the 165-pound schmo division. Get the fight for the GOAT.
Hey,
fight
man.
for the GOAT. Call it the GOAT fight.
As a fan, I want to see it as, you know, part of his representation team. He's retired.
Got it.